Hello everyone and welcome to another video from Ben and Cata on the Thursday afternoon, and today we're going to talk about volume. Now that doesn't mean that you need to speak up, Cata, just use your normal voice. It's a different kind.
I'll do my best. Hello everyone, glad to be here. 1st of May, we're gonna talk about volume analysis, which you just told me before that actually is not a strategy. We have to use that together with the strategy.
It's not a strategy? Oh my god. Okay.
Well, as always, we are gonna do our best to try to come up with useful information. And just a heads up that, the 3rd week of May, we're not gonna be doing any live stream, as we will be on Toronto for our own trading summit. So don't forget, if you are in Toronto and you want to meet us, then that's your chance. Also, we're gonna have that course. If you want to see Ben face to face, then that's a good moment to be.
You want to have your T-shirt signed?
Yes, exactly.
Probably some celeb running around there. I don't know. Oh yeah, Aaron is, of course. Aaron is the Coin Bureau celeb.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind, that from 12 till 16 we will be in Canada, in Toronto, and I'm pretty sure if you are our user, you received the emails about the trading summit that we're gonna hold there. So you can have a look over there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ben, how are we gonna do with the volume today?
Well, turn it up. I don't know. No.
Okay.
I see we have some viewers already. Anyone daring to put a chat in, leave a like, say hello, so that we don't feel like we're just talking amongst each other. Like I'm not here to explain it to Cata. No, that's just added bonus. But let us know if you're here. Echo.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. Okay, let's grab a chart. This one. Yeah. Oh, dog is in the end. Back. We have Patricia and we have Roman. Hey
everyone.
I know that guy.
Happy Altrady. Yeah.
Prof is here. Oh, okay. Oh, we're getting the regulars in.
Yes, exactly. glad to have you all here.
I saw Prof on Discord as well, asking some really good questions.
That's good.
Because we still have that Discord server where people can ask questions. It's picking up a little bit. We're getting more and more questions on the chat. The Ben and Cata chat is a bit slowish. So if you want to say hi, say hi. Even during the week. You don't have to wait till Thursday. All right. So, volume. Let me just grab my chat list of what we're going to discuss today so that I know what we're talking. Yeah. So, volume. Why does volume matter? Like, what is it? How is it even calculated? So, do you know how it's calculated, Cata?
No, I have no idea, and I always thought about it, and I was curious, so I think this will be great.
So you have these candles, right? You have the candles.
Okay.
They indicate the price. They tell you exactly how much the value of a coin is. So in this case, we're looking at Bitcoin. In this case, we're looking at the futures market, so not the complete actual value of Bitcoin, but a derivative of it. Doesn't really matter. The price is the price. And the price is the price of the contract in this case. But then next to these candles, you also see nice few bars down here. And these are called the volume bars. If you don't see them, you can add them. So this is now hidden. Some people hide them because they don't care about volume, which they should, but we'll get to that. You can enable it if you don't see it at all, like if it's not even here. Then you can go here and add the volume indicator. It's a standard indicator. Everyone has it. by all means, use it. You could change some settings. You can have a smoothing line, so you can see the average volume, and you could use that with simple moving average, exponential moving average, or weighted moving average. And you can enable that if you don't see it like that. Now you can see the moving average of the volume. And this is actually sometimes quite handy to have, because it will tell you exactly what the price did in the past. Right? It's not the reason why I normally don't have it on is because it's a very much delayed effect. Like you will see it after it has happened. But what it does, it will tell you like the average volume is this, and then all of a sudden you see a bump here. But that just means that there was volume here. So there was more volume here. But yeah, it happened here and the bump is here. So that's why the volume moving average and smooth moving average is debatable. But what is that volume? So this was the price, this is the volume. This just means how many coins or how many contracts in this case have been traded in a specific time frame or time period. And each candle is of course a time period. So in this case, this is on a daily candle. So each volume day represents a day of traded volume. So every time that you make a trade back and forth, buy and sell, it adds to volume. If you want to see how much volume there is, or like how much is traded, you can go to the trades widget, which I have here. That's the one. So now for every time that we see a trade, we can see the amount and then the total. So the amount is the volume in the base currency, which is Bitcoin in this case, and this is then the price of the total amount. So not the price of the coin, but the total price of what it's bought or sold. And this will make up for the volume that you see right here. So it's just an aggregation of all the trades that happened in that period. So why is that important? Why do we care? Well, because you can see in the chart, you can see a lot of these candles, they make very big moves. Like right here, this is a big candle. Price shifted quite significantly in a day. Right? But it's important to understand if that price move happened because the order book was small or not enough orders in the order book, or if there was actually a lot of buyers and sellers moving the price. Because that's important, right? It's significant. If I always remember it like one of our founders of the programming language that we use, or not the founder of the programming language, but the framework, I should say, David Hennemeyer Hansen. He had his company and he made it $1 billion company overnight by just selling a piece of a share for $1. Right? And then all of a sudden it was $1 billion company because it was worth billions if you could sell all your shares for $1. Well, that doesn't make so that the price increase can be very, very high, but that doesn't mean that the value is there. The value comes from the amount of buyers and sellers willing to pay it for that certain price. Right? So if a lot of people are willing to pay $1, then it's most likely worth $1. Right? But if it's just one person paying that $1, that doesn't mean it's worth it. That's the distinction. And you can see that in the order book, right? If you have a thick order book, then there's a lot of price debate and you'll see smaller moves typically. But here you see a lot of moves, a lot of price change. Now, if that price change was paired up with low volume, that means that there was just one buyer willing to pay that high price, right? Or 1 or 2 or 10 or whatever, and depending on the market that you're in. Now we're in the highest volume market, so you can be sure that when someone moves the price, it's definitely because of the price. But if we look at a very low volume market, very new, then you can see that any of these things are just, the volume is pretty much the same. Doesn't really make a big difference. The big moves just caused by the same type of candles. There's no difference. And that's important to understand, and that's important to take into consideration with your strategies. like what I said in the beginning, or what Cata said in the beginning actually, was that there isn't a real strategy based on volume. No one just disables the price chart and just looks at volume and then YOLOs into the market. That doesn't work like that. It's not like, ooh, there's a lot of volume, I'm going to buy now. Or there's a lot of green volume, I'm going to buy now. Or there's a lot of red volume, I'm going to sell now. There isn't an indicator out there that says to buy and sell based on volume alone. Doesn't make any sense. But what you can use it for is to find confirmation in your strategies. And in the previous episodes, we've discussed quite a few strategies. We've help me out here, Cata. What have we done? We've done trend lines, smart money trading,
smart money, yeah.
Support and resistance, the base scanner.
There were quite a few actually. Yeah, we had.
We looked at the moving average last week. RSI stuff, things like that. Bollinger Bands.
Yeah. A lot. No, there were quite a lot because we had like from all the indicators, and yeah, I mean, pretty much we covered quite a lot actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So for all those strategies, a lot of the time volume is part of the strategy. Now, some traders will say, no, price action is the only thing. Just disable this, keep your chart clean, and just look at the price action. And that's fine, because those traders are probably trading in high volume markets anyway. So you're taking the top 5 volume markets, for example, you're trading that. You don't really have to worry about volume, right? But then sometimes they say, oh, well, yeah, sometimes I use it for confirmation if I'm not entirely sure. So that's why you can hide it, but leave it on there so that you have a quick toggle. And what do I mean by looking for confirmation for certain types of actions? Well, if we take, for example, like we set the trend line right here, like that. And we could see that it was, if we move to a smaller time frame, we might be able to see it a little bit better. So here we can see that this is the volume. Like this, the average volume is around here, right? And then we see a breakout of our trend line, which is paired with quite significant volume, right? So there's quite a lot of people that see this and they step into the market. That's usually what happens because it's a breakout, right? So and on a breakout, you will see many traders just as soon as it hits, I'm in, right? But then the next candle is almost back to normal, right? And then followed by the denial of the breakout. So it pushed it up and then just pushed it all the way down. So this is a clear fake out, right? And what we see now, when we go further in, we can see that there's a big drop here. And we can see a lot more volume. But now these candles, they're actually trading for high volume for, well, this is a good part of a day, really. Yeah. For like almost a day, the volume is really high in every single candle. So if you move to the lower time frames, you will see the same thing. So there's a lot of debate around here. Lots of people buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. Right? So that this will tell you a little bit about how this move is. And especially when you see this, and then you see the price move up. So here you see a very large bullish volume candle. Let me see if I can show it like that. This is majorly significant. Right? And even then, even still after this, there's continuing high volume. So during all this period, lots and lots of volume. And then you get your breakout. And this breakout is meh. It's not great. Right? Even though we're staying above it, it's not great. you see that that's another thing that you could look at. Is like you could see the volume going down.
The trend following the photo. Okay.
Yeah. And you can see it here, like that. So you can see a lot of compression. And the compression is, in this case, paired with volume going down. Now, when you see this, this can be an indication of a bigger breakout because people are waiting. Not many people are trading anymore. They're just waiting and holding and seeing what the price does, right? And then as soon as it breaks out to the top, then you see continuous spikes pushing the price with massive strength upwards. Right, so they for this breakout, there wasn't that consolidation. There wasn't any diminishing in volume. Right, so this volume was happening before that, but there was a lot of volume. So when this breakout was there, these people had already loaded in, and they were just waiting for this to happen. Last minute liquidity building, so accumulation right here, and then the push upwards, making the price higher and making it to where it is. So it's very interesting to pair this with that volume. So you see that compression and you see the decrease of volume indicating that there's a breakout imminent.
This is a really good example of how you can use it. I mean,
yeah, I saw it today, and that was very interesting for me. Now, that's how you could use this volume. So you look at for confirmation inside these breakouts, inside these patterns, because this is not the trend line pattern, but this is then the ascending triangle pattern, or decent ascending triangle, yeah, which is a continuation pattern from what we learned in one of the previous episodes. So we can see clearly continuing in the upwards direction. Right, so combined with the diminishing volume, the compression, and it being a continuation pattern, bullish continuation pattern, that's what moved the price up. Right, and what we're currently seeing, if we look at the current, because we can see it again right here.
Yeah.
There isn't a real volume yet, and there isn't a clear decrease of volume, right? So it's still that build up. So this could be a little bit longer. However, there are other indicators based on volume. For example, we could look at the on balance volume. That's this one. Oh, I had already had it, but yeah, that's how you add it. And then if we switch to the daily, because that's where I saw it. So the on balance volume is basically looking at the volume caused by the volume of the candle, and then it looks at if it was a bullish candle or a bearish candle, and then it either adds or subtracts from the previous day volume. So in this case, you can see that these two candles were green, so the volume of that counts towards the value of the on balance volume. And if you have it going downwards, then you see that the balance is subtracted. Right, so this will tell you a little bit whether the volume is causing a upwards movement or a downwards movement. That's kind of what it's suggesting. However, as we've seen in other types of indicators, there can be divergences. Now, what is a divergence? That means that one indicator is telling you something bearish, and the other one is telling you something bullish. Right? Because we're seeing this continuation pattern, and we're seeing this indicating that the price is moving down. Well, actually, this divergence can indicate that there's, again, that build-up, that compression in the volume. So that this is then the compression in the volume. That could indicate that there are a lot of people waiting for the breakout. Right? Does that make sense? If you see that the volume on the unbalanced volume indicator is going down, but you see a clear bullish sign here, that could mean that there's a breakout imminent. The longer this takes, the more imminent this breakout is. And I think that we're going to see that. I can't see it now because this is actually the live chart. And today I didn't have to go back far to show you exactly how this indicator will play out. So that's nice. But yeah, we will have to look later and see where it will go. Well, I was talking to Roman about it actually today about this and our thoughts for where Bitcoin could move to. Because on the smart money concept here, we can see that it's entering the fair value gap on the 4 hour. However, it had already done that previously, so we need to make sure that it's above that, and actually right here like that. So we need to wait until it clears this, but then there is another order block right here. So this information, so on the daily, this information could indicate that we will indeed see that move into the order block. And that could be an imminent move to happen. Could be today, could be tomorrow, because this is on the daily chart. And it will only tell you, of course, like same with the with this pattern, the flag pattern. It will tell you that it goes up, but not how far, right? So if we look at, if in this case we're looking at the smart money concept, then we could see based on the volume that there's a breakout imminent. So we could actually indeed wait for this move to happen. So we don't have to necessarily look for the short entrance on the 4 hour fair value gap. So there's a high chance that this will not hold, and there's a higher chance that it will actually move into this one. Only then to break down, right? So according to Roman's mentor, the price would probably go somewhere around here and then go there. But we would have to see how that would play out. But at least we can look at the volume part and see if that's if that breakout is there and if the move will be good. Like if it's a strong move. Strong moves are usually paired with high volume. So that's the usage of the unbalanced volume. So looking for the divergences. I mean, otherwise, what you will see is that it just like for every upwards move, same as the RSI, if it's upwards and upwards, then it's fine, right? There's nothing wrong. But yeah, just look for those divergences to see if there's any change coming. And in this case, you can see that consolidation phase, and that consolidation phase might end soon. Then we have another indicator that I really like and is also volume based. And that is the, oh, I actually already have it, the volume profile. It's this one.
Oh, I see a lot of people using this one actually.
Yeah, a lot of people use these.
Yeah.
And right off the bat like this, when you just add it, so let me just add it again, like volume profile fixed range, visible range, like this. Right off it, the bin size is just a little bit too thick, I find, especially on the higher time frames. You could see something, but like right now, basically this is another indication of volume, right? So we can see that there's a lot of volume around this price level. Now, what does that mean? That means that while the price was around this range, a lot of people traded, right? And that's kind of obvious if we just, so we didn't need this one to tell that, because you could see this whole range right there, right? There was a lot of price discussion around this. Every time that candle was in there, it just caused a little bit of a sparkline wave, a lot of noise in there. But there was also a significant amount of volume in there. So there was a clear price debate, which makes sense because it's just around the 100,000 level, which is another psychological thing that is a whole different story. But yeah, as I was saying right off the bat, this one is not super useful. It's okay. But what you can do is you can actually change the number of rows. So you can get a little bit of more granularity in the volume profile. So as you can see, if I go up, you can see that the bin sizes are getting smaller. That's because the visible range is divided among more rows. Right? And as you can see, it starts to make things a little bit more clear. So
it looks like the one in the bottom basically starts to.
Yeah. So right now we can see that this is more of the price level. So the one that we're currently at. Right? It's not this whole range. The whole range is is a lot lower here. So this is the clear indication of the price. So this is now either acting as a support or as a resistance line, right? So there's even more chance of it grabbing the liquidity right here and then using this resistance to push the price back down, right? Because we came from the bottom, the resistance was here, it was already here. Like these volumes are created by these candles right here, and you know that by just zooming in, because this indicator only shows you the volume of the visible candles, right? As soon as you add more candles, this will change. Right? Do you see the difference? So now I have all those candles back in. When I move them out, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? So we can see that these candles right here, they form support and resistance around this level. So even though we cannot draw a clear line right here, the volume profile, fixed range, or the visible range volume profile still gives us that information. So this is something that you could use for confirmation in your strategies, right? So if your strategy is to short here, well, you may have a good reason to do so, because this is acting like resistance. Similarly, you can say that once it moves, it has a high probability of moving back to this one, and then go either direction. We don't know. But why this? Well, that's because there was a lot of volume right here. And that makes sense if you follow, for example, the smart money concept, because then it takes out all this liquidity. Like all this imbalance is then covered with the fair value gaps, and then the liquidity that is in this compression line, because we know that this compression is actually a lot of liquidity that will be taken out at some point, or has a high probability of being taken out. So when you short, if you take a short here, and I might be tempted to take a short here, actually, then there's a high probability of it going back down here. And that could be, a 12% move. Now, if you're a fan of this one, and you like to determine your moves like that, but you want to have it a little bit more fine-grained, like you want to understand where the support and resistance levels were based on this area, right? This will not tell you like that. So someone's already saying, muy bajo, I prefer the fixed volume profile. And that's exactly what I wanted to show you. So we have the fixed volume profile. And that works by selecting your range. Like that.
Oh, okay.
And now it actually shows you the volume profile for this specific range. So if you wanted to see this move, then you can. Right? So where's the support and resistance in this move? Well, it's again right here. But now it doesn't matter. Like even if I move out of it, if I zoom out, if I don't include these, you can see that this one stays the same. So it stays fixed. This one is dancing around the chart, but this one stays fixed. But as Roman said, that it does confirm again support and resistance, and in this case resistance on this level, indicating a bearish move is imminent. So here we can see that the volume is telling us that it will go up in the short term, but long term definitely, and long term might be like the 4-hour charts, probably around here. Unless Donald Trump does something again that will push,
you never know.
Push the price to either the moon or the rock bottom, but hey-ho, we'll see. And the nice thing about this, and that's also something I would say, you can have multiple of these. So if you want to see this one for this price range, that's fine. You can add more, and I think it's also here, but I'm not... where was it? I always have trouble with the... yeah, it's right here. So fixed range volume profile is under the projection and volume based, like that. You can add more. So you could say I want to have this range and this range. And now you can see again. So based on these candles, you can see again that the volume is around here. So we could see volume right here. So there's good information, good targets telling us that the price will move from this point to this point at some point. Right? When it will happen, we don't know. If it will happen, it's most likely if you trade these strategies. But perhaps you're trading a different strategy, like perhaps you're trading the flag patterns and you say, this is my move and it's gonna go up to there like that. This is my continuation. Hey, we might be reaching a new all-time high. If that's the case, buy me a beer.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do that. We could. I'm looking for a new all-time high. Are you?
Well, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
So, as you can see, there are different strategies that are applicable here, right?
Ben, I don't know if it makes sense, but is there like volume more useful on higher or lower time frames? I mean, there is like, because in the end, if it's about the strategy, I don't know.
As always, it depends.
Yeah.
Right? It depends on what time frame you're trading. Because if we, for example, we pick out the ever high volume markets on MACD and we go to God, I have 0. Oh look, there's some volume here. So here, this is the 4-hour time frame. Is any of this volume significant? No, you can't even see any.
Oh, yeah.
Does it make more sense on the daily? It starts to make sense.
However, it's still like, yeah, non-existent almost.
Yeah. So this is like you cannot go any further than a day. Like if you go to 15 minutes, all you see is just dashes, right? And there's no volume, zero.
Okay.
Right. So based on the time frames, it depends, because if we now go to MACD and we take the highest volume market, hey, that's different. I can see nice candles, I can see price movement, and I can see spikes in volume.
Yeah.
And I can see spikes in volume that actually move the price up. But now we're on the 15 minute. So yeah, I could use this. I could use this volume. If I'm trading on a 15-minute chart, I could use this volume profile, volume ranges on the 15-minute charts. No problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest way is to look for consolidation and then check for the volume. And then probably, I mean, that will kind of show us that something gonna happen.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was like what I said before. It's like you can see it going down from all the way from here. Right, there's a few indecisions right here. But yeah, up until here, you can see significant volume based on the previous period, because this was low. So we had these two, like this. Yeah, I would say this is just a grab of liquidity down here, and then to make that last final push to the downward side and then go up. But we're in a several month new high, actually. Well, I mean, unless you take this high, of course. Then it's looking very bullish at the moment, although the volume profiles are telling us that there is a correction incoming. And that also makes sense, right? That also makes sense, that correction. We're expecting the correction.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is just... this move upwards is just too steep. It cannot support it like that. It touched it, but yeah. I mean, you could see it here as well. So the price moved too far away from its trend upwards, and then at some point it touched it and then collapses, and it has to go back to previous support and resistance levels, which is exactly what it did right here. Right, it cleared all this imbalance. But actually, now I'm looking at it. What significance do you see in terms of like this period and the current period? Something is very interesting. I mean, we've been seeing it for a while now, but what I can see clearly here is that the volume here, on MACD at least, was a lot higher, like the average. Maybe we should move the we should put that one on. Wrong settings. There. Yeah. See, now the smoothing makes sense. What you can see here is that the average was around this line, and here volume just dropped on MACD. Let's have a look at the other charts. Let's have a look at Binance futures or spot, see if we can see the same pattern. Not really.
Not really, yeah.
Not really. Wow. So what's going on with MACD? Why is the volume going? I mean, we can see the volume drop on Binance futures or Binance spot. Yeah, Binance spot. We can see a huge volume drop.
Man, that's insane. I mean, the difference is like for those months. I mean,
lots of accumulation right here. So this is where the big players loaded, I guess. This
Oh,
is where
2023. Yeah, but makes sense. It was like when it was like 15K, 16K on Bitcoin.
every believer that had bought at the top right here, they're loading in here.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people are kicking themselves now.
It's where I bought actually, like most of the Bitcoin that I have.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this is interesting. So on MaxC, the volume is dropped. Wow, is it on other markets as well?
Can you? Yeah, exactly.
Kinda.
A different exchange, like I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's do Bybit.
Bybit.
Yeah, we can see a volume drop as well.
So it seems that just Binance is
doing okay.
OKX or Coinbase or.
Let's check Coinbase. Yeah, slowly diminishing, but still maintaining the same level.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, Gate is fine. Maybe these exchanges are just better at the wash trading. Ooh, I didn't say that.
No. Well, yeah. Something
Artificially keeping the volume high. I don't know. It's different though.
Yeah. Well, at least we have a better understanding of the volume now and how we can use it. So.
Yeah, I'd have to do more research into why volume dropped on these exchanges, but it is significant. Does anyone?
It's a lot.
Does anyone in the audience know? Is there any indication of foul play, for example? I don't know. Right. So we didn't do a lot of trading today, but that's because, like I said, trading on volume is not a strategy. But I can show you. I'm showing you how to use the volume and the volume indicators and the different types of things to enhance your targets and to understand where the price might move to in terms of good liquidity levels, where a lot of the volume was traded before, which always makes good support and resistance levels, which always makes good magnets for the price to move towards.
And this looks great, man.
Yeah. But that's let me check my list again. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, there's another thing that we could say is like about position sizes, right? If you see the move like this and there isn't a lot of volume involved, right? So the volume was here. This breakout was actually a weaker one, right? So here it kicked up again. So you could see the volume diminishing and then picking up. If you see this and you want to take this trade and you say, okay, well, there is a lot of volume involved beforehand. So this breakout indicates that that either people have loaded up and they're expecting to move up. Then what you could do is, if you're not entirely sure, is just adjust your risk based on the position size. So even though you maintain your same risk reward ratio, if you lower your risk percentage, so instead of taking a standard 1% risk on your portfolio, you can take 0.5%. Or vice versa, if you see a lot of volume making this move, giving you a stronger feeling about the move happening, then you could increase your risk, maybe from 1% to a 2%. Don't go crazy. Don't go to 5 or 10, because you'll be quicker out of funds before you actually become profitable. So yeah, also use the position size for when you're looking at volume.
Ben, there is something else about the backtesting feature or something that we want to share
The backtesting feature is still under heavy development. We're just finalizing these things. Yeah, it's going well. It's we've been using it a lot, so we're figuring out all the bugs. Still a few remaining. Also need to clean it up a little bit. Because while using it, you understand like, oh, this is actually not really necessary. So we're going to be tweaking the way it looks.
That's good to hear.
But it should be a few more weeks at least. Yeah. Oh, we've got Toronto in the meantime, so probably after Toronto we might be able to do it. Because we will be using. So we're hosting a course or like a seminar in Toronto, and in that seminar we will let the students also use the backtesting feature so that we can let them practice how to use smart trading effectively. So it'll be usable, testable in that in a couple of weeks. That's at least the goal.
That's great to hear. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to find that useful, especially the people that are going to join our course, that live session that we're going to do together with Aaron. So yeah, and afterwards, of course, because everyone will be able to use it on Altrady.
Yeah. We have not fully decided yet on how to include that in the plans yet, but we will make sure that you at least get to try it to its full extent in the beta period.
Awesome. Well, I think we are done for today. This, about the volume, I think we went quite in depth with everything, and you explained really well. I don't know if you want to have anything else to say, Ben, but I think we are done for today.
Yeah, I don't see any questions from the audience today.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's fine.
We don't judge. We're just happy. We're just happy you're here. My son is getting lessons about BTC in Belgium. That's nice.
Oh, okay.
It's always good to learn.
Yeah, I'm curious from whom, Patricia? Like from who is taking those lessons? If you can share that with us.
Yeah, we are also collaborating with a few. In school. Oh wow.
That might be something to tackle, actually. We might actually try to reach out to universities and talk with them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe. I mean, I've seen those videos on YouTube where people say, do you want $100 or a Bitcoin? And people still taking the $100. Like, I mean, you've been living under a rock if you say that, but.
Yes. Nicholas is asking if the backtesting being beta for those of us unable to see you in Canada.
It will definitely be when we come back from Canada, and it's only a few days.
So it'll be this month.
Yeah.
That is in the Middlebury school. Huh.
Yeah, so...
Middlebury is like high school?
Yeah.
Okay. Even high school. That's really interesting. Okay. Well, that for sure is more for the Nordic.
And I'm really curious about what the narrative is. Are they positive? Are they negative? Or are they really neutral?
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. That's a good question.
Like I'm really curious. Like, what are the kids nowadays being taught about Bitcoin? Are they being taught that it's a good thing, a bad thing, or just energy hungry and bad for the environment and blah blah blah? Neutral. Okay.
Yeah. Like many of neutral. Okay.
Wow. That's good. Does he have a trading account yet?
That is easy trading.
Paper trading is free, no age restrictions. You can do it. You can try it.
Yeah, that's true. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for Patricia for sharing that with us. Yes, that's cool.
The Bitcoin millionaires being made in high school. That's That's me.
Well,
That's me.
it's good that you said that, because we also start working towards a beginner trading course where we're gonna explain more things. So we're gonna share more information about that later. However, we do expect probably in 1 month or so to have that that course up and running.
Yeah, actually, you're talking about something but from the people that are here, if you've had any difficulties or you're still struggling with certain things, we would love to know what your first impression was with Altrady, because we're actively working on improving our first impressions with Altrady, because we know that it's a beast, and you don't want to be eye to eye with a beast when you just start out, right? You don't know if the beast is friendly or foe. Like, you need to, right? You need to put your hand in front, let it sniff a little bit, and see if it's friendly, and treat it like a feral cat or something.
Beauty and the Beast, huh? Okay. Oh God, no, but yeah, indeed. I mean, as Beth mentioned, I think it will be great if you have anything to say. I don't use the time-based alerts. How do I better use it?
Great question. Great question.
Okay.
There are situations where you would say, I would like it when the price moves to a certain point, a certain price at a certain time, right? So, for example, I can draw this, then I can have my channel right here, and I want to understand, like, okay, so what happens like in several hours? So what I can do is I can set the time alert like so, and I can remind myself to come back and check the chart again at this price, at this time level. So even though it's not hitting any of my price alerts, I still want to understand what is the move in the meantime. Is there anything happened? Do I need to change my my trend lines? Do I need to update them? Do I need to readjust them? Is there a new pattern formed? And if I'm interested in this market, then this can just be a helpful reminder for me to check this market. So it's basically like setting a time alert on your phone, or mark it in your calendar or whatever. But in this case, it's just easier because you see exactly in the chart. You could leave a note, and you could leave, you can have it expire, and you can set a sound towards it. So it depends on your strategy, but it's basically just to use it as a reminder. It's not a way to trade, but it's a way to make sure that you don't need to sit behind your computer and watch this move happen. You can just say it either hits my trend lines, or it's going to hit this price, and then I'll see where it is. And then make the adjustment based on where the price is at that time. That's how you would use it. Or at least that's how I use it. So with the smart money concept, you could also check that, for example. So because in smart money concept, we know that we have that Quasimodo move that we're waiting for, right? But like this, we want that move to happen at a certain amount of time. Like this shift here was actually closed. Interesting. We could see that move happening already. I don't know. Roman, what do you think? Yeah. So you could say that I don't want this to drag out too far. So I can set time alert and say the move needs to happen before this. Otherwise, I probably need to readjust my entry levels and exit levels. So next to the price levels like that, where we're creating new highs. And if this creates a new high, then we have a shift right here. Roman says that he uses it sometimes when price just entered the point of interest, and I need at least 4 to 5 15-minute candles to pass in order to form a reversal. So I can put a time alert in. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, for example, the swing to be validated as a swing, it needs to have at least a few candles with distance in between. So instead of counting the candles and waiting for them to happen, just set the alert and come back later. It's just a reminder, really. Very handy. Very handy.
Useful, that's for sure. Okay, if there are no more questions, I think we can wrap this up, Brandon.
Yeah, well, I'm actually just holding on a little bit because...
You want to see now if... yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to Roman
It's
about
going
it.
up, yeah.
I was talking to Roman about this, and because we have that fair value gap right here that we're in right now, here.
Yeah.
Trading view and the amount of candles. Ugh. Load them all. It's also that I don't have a lot of space. Is it? No, it's not there yet. There it is. Now we have all the candles. So we've entered this fair value gap. Right here. So we have the high point. We have the shift. So we have... so if this had happened, it was closed, we would have our shift right here. So we would have set up the short. No. This one. Short. Shift there. That one there. And zoom out. Yeah, go into this. Oh, maybe even... What's 3? Let's look at 3. Yeah, here. Yeah. This would be the position. Could even be here to be really conservative. So yeah, we would be in that position, but it doesn't look like it's going to hold. And I didn't take this position because Roman was indicating, yeah, he was saying exactly this. I'd wait for a resweep of the 79k before shorting. And the reason for that being that we have already tested this imbalance, fair value gap, before. So this is not the highest point. And voila, I would have been stopped out. So had it not been for my mentor Roman, I would have had another loss in Bitcoin. Interesting. What does the volume say? Well, we can say that there's significant volume in the last few 15-minute candles. Significant volume. Way more than... Yeah, you can even see the moving average is already moving up.
Yeah.
What does the other one say? Yeah. Also going up. Confirming that price move. So 97, so it should touch this.
Then to sell, well, to short.
Yeah. But then there's also this one. This is the order block. Ooh. But at least we didn't take this. And that's because it was already touched before. So lesson learned. Make sure to check the fair value gap to see if it hasn't been touched before. Or at least hasn't touched that level before. Thank you, Roman. And on that note, I think we can call it a day because this will take a while before we actually reach any of these levels. And the shift would be here. Yeah, shift would be here. If it happens, shift is here. For the people that want to know. Yep.
Okay.
Tricky one, but a nice one. That target level is still there. All right. With that, I will say goodbye, good evening, good morning. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you next week on Tuesday.
Yep.
All
Thanks
right.
for today, Ben. Hello. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to leave a like. Come back next week. Come back. We need you. All right. See you all later. Bye-bye.